Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. I'm back at it again and I am trying to find a new way to beat the system on earning ISK. Now obviously I'm back in the game, I've been pushing hard, as you can see 107 million. I haven't been going up all that high. If you did watch the last time, you do know that my figure is down. That's because I actually ran a bit of a hefty test, and my test ran across three different aspects. High sec without combat, high sec with combat of the low end missions, the low end T8, T9s, and the high sec with construction and basically building in the stations. So these figures aren't really all that impressive. They're quite low and you're not going to like what you're about to hear. So the winner outright is still PvE combat. Even at its low rate, it's still way better than any activity you can do in high sec. Obviously, if you're going to play out in null sec, low sec is going to be swarmed wherever the mission grounds are. You're going to get players scouting those areas and they will be looking for you when you're doing missions. So if you are going to do a mission, I suggest carrying a big strong fleet with you so that you can really teach that camper a lesson when he jumps in to fight you. Okay, so moving on to the next part of this whole nitty-gritty when it comes to completing missions. So the small missions are worth 900,000 a piece. You can complete 3 in an hour. I know that sounds a bit crazy. I don't know why I activated that accelerator at that point. Shouldn't have. But nonetheless, that is something which is going to be in the game for you to look at. So that is the first place where you can actually pull through with a good reward. The second thing you can do is building. Now, please note, building is extremely risky. There is a chance you can make profit quickly, there is a chance you won't make profit at all. But it requires you to build up a certain fee, and Omega is not necessary for you to keep building at the basic level. However, once you build past T7, you do need Omega. So if you're going to sell something under Omega level, there is a possibility for you to earn well. But if you're not going to build under Omega, building isn't going to be your best suit. And after you've built for your first or second month, then it is a good idea to go into Omega and increase your building span with an increased amount of profit. So what I went and I did was, I went back to selling the highest level items that I could sell under T7, and that was station pieces. Believe it or not, station pieces are quite a good sale. They sell for around 120 million for some of the pieces, and when it comes down to raw cost, depending on what you do to earn your materials or whether you're mining your materials, that makes a difference in how much it's going to cost you. So if you are mining your basic of your first 2 materials, it's going to cost you a minor level. Minusing titanium and the first few levels of it, pyrite, you're only going to end up running into a cost of about 20 million to each of your stations. Now yes, I know there is quite a bit of mining just to get those mined out, but nonetheless that is the way that you're going to make the best amounts of profit. Obviously if your Omega is active, you're going to earn way more, and you need a certain amount of Omega to start with. So yeah, that is a viable option. But here's the catch. The markets are heavily traded. Let me just show you. I made a profit the first day I jumped on. I put an item out for 120, it sold instantly, and from the 120 I made 100 million. That is the way that it went for me on day 1. So let's go look at the market and let's see how much of an undercut I have taken, because I undercut somebody to get onto the bottom of the list. Now I have one of every single structure blueprint at the very least. Actually no, I'm still the cheapest. And as you can see, it hasn't yet sold. So everybody here has been on for more than a day, and nobody has purchased up our pieces at that level. Let's look at the next one. Let's see how heavily traded hanger arrays are. They are way more needed than the other. And yeah, pretty much heavy trade. as you can see, basically full up on this list. Storage bays, similar story, quite heavily needed. Yeah, heavy trade. Right through, you're getting heavy trade for every one of these items. Now, in consideration of the fact that they are heavy at the moment, that means selling them has a strong chance of the item laying on the market. And if it lays for too long, there's a chance that you don't make a sale and you make a loss. And your loss is about 10 million, right? I'm counting it as a full 10 million, even though it isn't. But that is where your chances are with sales. So what are your other options on getting is quickly? There are the missions that you can take on for transporting items to and from high sec areas. So it's all within the enclosed safe areas. You're only in high sec and low sec through the gates to stations. So all of those are safe areas. All you've got to do is set yourself to avoid 0-0 sectors. That means you will never touch a null gate and it will push you through. Yes, I do know glitches occur where you get thrown to the null gates all of a sudden. That has happened to me several times, even with the 0-0 active. If it does happen, the devs aren't going to replace you or replenish you. They will fill out a little bit of an insurance cutback for you, but that's about the maximum that they will do when that error happens. Whew, okay, so let's go to the next thing. The next thing that I did was I did the transport up and down with the lowest level transport. Obviously, I needed the fastest ship that I could get to see how fast I can do transport missions, and I could do 3 in an hour. Now 3 in an hour is my fastest with my lowest level ship, which is a destroyer. And my destroyer that I used was the prototype Zhenyu, not the Zhenyu, the Zhenyu. So yeah, that's how it went. I used it and I made as much as I could off that particular ship. And it didn't pan out as great as I hoped it would be. I did make a profit. I am not saying that I was short in any way of a profit, but the loss factor involved in using it was the factor that time was being wasted. I couldn't take 2 shipments at a time. I couldn't take 3 or 4. I had to take 1. And when you look at your missions, you don't get tons of those missions all the time anyway. If you did, it would be a very feasible way for you to make ISK. Now, there is a way that it will be feasible. Let me just look for the big one here. I'm sure I have one. Yeah, here we go. No, this isn't the big one. Okay, so if you take on the small ones, let's say there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 out at the moment. If I had a Nereus combat or a humpback combat or a humpback high mobility, I could simply load it up because it has a massive delivery hole, which is for this particular reason, and launch from Jita out to pick up every single one. And if I reach a sector where 2 missions collide, I can simply drop off. So while I'm picking up, I'll drop off. And at the end of the last 20 minutes, I can just go to every station that's close by and finish off all the deliveries. And if I do it in that way, it's going to be a 6-hour rotation on the game instead of a 5-hour. Each one is worth 900,000. Every 30 seconds, the 300 and 900. Let's estimate it as a mix of the two at 1.2 million, right? 1.2 million, no wait, not a mix. That's estimating up. Let's just say that we're mixing the 300s with the 900,000s, and we're going to get about 6 of them in an hour. So 6 of them all together, we'll say that it's 4 300,000s, that's 1.2, and 2 900s, that's 1.8. That's 3 million an hour. That's what we're capable of making an hour doing this transport and delivery. I know that isn't a massive figure, but it is a very safe option. You cannot be gate camped, you cannot be shut out of warp, and they cannot take your loot. Now all you've got to do is activate the slowest mode on the ship, which is the high defense mode, and send it through the gates. The moment anybody attacks you, make sure you don't have weapons on so you can't be attacked, so you can't have a counter attack on. And the moment they try to do it, they're just going to have the entire fleet wiped out. If you have to come back to the game in 10 minutes to see where you are, you just come in, you just click your autopilot again, and you're on your merry way. They may take out your shield, they may take out some of your armor, but that's the thing, they'll never get through your ship that quickly unless they have massive fleets for no reason, in which case your insurance will just replace the ship for you. And yes, I am telling you to keep insurance on hand because it will replace the ships way faster. So let's have a look at what that would entail. So that is the second most profitable from all the activities you can do within the game. If you're counting it, it isn't that high of a reward. As I said, that's an estimate. Sorry, wait, I just need to complete this mission. I just heard the spawn in, so you know how it goes. You need to catch on before something approaches too close. Okay, come on, fire up. It's getting closer, so it will be destroyed much faster. And then I just need the last ship locked in. There I go. Okay, so let's have a look at that ship price. Sorry about that. Things like that will happen in combat at any time, can happen to anybody. Even if they do lock me up, they're not going to destroy me, so I'm not worried. So we're not looking under frigates, we're not looking under shuttles, we're looking under industrial ships. So the first thing you're going to do is go down to the Nereus section, and let's look at the 3 Nereuses that are available. Nereus High Mobility, let's have a look at its price. 20 million Tashmukan, 21 million, okay, not bad. Right, let's have a look at what its features are, and that will tell me whether or not it's good for the missions. Right, let's see, delivery hold, 36,000. The 900Ks hold a full 10,000 in storage. So if I look at this, I can only hold 3 missions with it. Humpback High Mobility is way higher, I do know that. I can hold almost an infinite number with the Humpback High Mobility, but let's have a look at its price in market. I'm expecting it to be through the roof at a couple 100 million. Yeah, there's it, 400 million is a good price for it. That's what you should expect to pay for it. It's greater than what I can afford at the moment. Now there is also the option of the Nereus Combat. Let me just have a look at its delivery hold. There is a better delivery hold. And the Nereus Hauling, let's see what's its delivery hold looking like. Okay, that is even better than the previous. So yeah, there you go. You can see there's 3 options. Hauling is way better for everything. Obviously it's a much bigger investment. So let's see what the Nereus Combat looks like in terms of hauling, 57 cubics. And that's delivery hold, that's what we're doing, delivery missions. If you count that, you can do my strategy 100% with the Nereus High Mobility, not High Mobility, sorry, the Nereus hauling, and you'd be able to pull off a solid 3 million an hour. Now, does it take out the investment that you have to put into it? 67 million. How long will it take to pull out the investment? So 67 today, 67 tomorrow, no, not 67, sorry, 3 point something. You're doing it with tidbits. You can do it even longer than 4 hours because it doesn't require your full attention. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. At 3, that's 6 times 3, that's 18 million a day. It'll take you about 5 days to take out the initial investment. No mods, nothing fitted to the ship, just a bareback delivery vessel. If someone attacks you and destroys you, it's coming back from insurance. That's all you have to cover for it. That's another 10% of the value. That's 6 million that you have to cover. So in 4 days you will cover the ship plus the insurance. So yeah, that's all that's needed. I know I did skip doing this. So yeah, that's a good show on what you can do to earn ISK really, really quickly in the game. However, as you can guess, there is a problem. If you do get lucky and the 900 million spawn a little bit faster for you, let's say for example if it's 4 an hour, that will be a little bit better. At 2.4 million for them, 4 in an hour, 2.4 plus the remaining being double that figure for the lower end, that's 8 at 3. 8 times 3 is 3.2. That's 5.6 million. At 5.6 million, it's almost as lucrative as running a combat vessel, but you do lose the ability to grind your waste from a battle to generate additional income. So that is where your loss comes in. You don't get to pick up all this loot and grind it for materials to produce resources which you can sell on the market for high gains, or you can sell it on the market for low gains, or you can just build and sell for even higher gain of a zero cost item. So that is one of the options for you. Now, all of that being said, I know what I'm talking about is ridiculously difficult to actually put in motion when it comes to building, but the delivery part is something you can do if you are a casual player. If you want to keep it as casual as it is, you can go about on these delivery hauls, and you can haul as much as you can in one of those hauling ships. Actually, just to show you that it is a viable solution, I'm going to first complete this mission, and then tomorrow you will see me in the nearest hauling. Actually, it might not be tomorrow, it might be 2 videos away from today. But nonetheless, I will be in the nearest hauling, and I will see how much I can make across a 6 hour. Now, let's see, how many missions did I take? I did do it in the Naga so I can cruise around more safe while I'm doing this talk, basically. If I took out my Drake, I'd be at point blank and I'd be facing off against them all at once. Yeah, so that's just about it. So that's everything that I needed to discuss and talk about when it comes to earning ISK. It may not be as fruitful as what you would be expecting to make of your missions. 3 hours a day, 300 million. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a week if you can, 100 million a day, and that's way beyond where you are. If you are in a corp where you have a big enough contingent in HiSec, if you're 10-man fleets at the very least, have a brawler in your fleet, have him ready with jamming, so that if anybody tries to attack you in HiSec or in low sec, you can simply blow them out of the mission, and if they come back with a fleet, they know there is a possibility they're going to be obliterated by firepower, because most people running in HiSec have unbelievably powerful ships. Example, my Naga isn't that powerful in close range combat, but on the long range, if I catch you with someone webbing you down, that's a solid 4.5 to 4.8k, and 4.8k is a big amount of damage. 32 million on your ship, and considering the fire time on the ship isn't that long, every 5 seconds you're going to take 4.8. That's 9k in 10 seconds. It's beyond 9, it's 9.6. That's good enough to destroy you in less than 30 seconds, and that's just one Naga. If you jump into a battle and there's 5 Nagas, that's 5 times faster to your death. 5 hits like that, no matter what you're running, your ship is going to scream, get out of there, because you're going to get hit so hard. Your shield is going to drop instantly, your armor is going to be ringing, and your hull will burst almost instantly. If you count that, if 6 ships gang up together to hit you with that type of firepower, it's a one-shot kill. So be careful about trying to gank people in these ships. Although they are only good for long-range combat, if you jump in at the wrong range or in the wrong position and they manage to catch you at the optimals, they're just going to instantly obliterate you from the high ground. So basically it's just going to be a one-shot finish, especially if they have a brawler to pin you down. And the brawlers will definitely be a bigger pain than anybody else there, because they will be able to fight you and the rest of your fleet for far longer. Trying to take out the extra DPS who are easy to kill isn't the best solution. You have to take out the brawler so you don't take so much DPS, and that is the way to go for it, because if the brawler stays in there, even if there's 2 ships, as I said, it's a 30-second kill. You can kill 1 ship in 30 seconds with 1-man fleets. If you're coming in with massive fleets of 40 and 50, you might as well have come in to do the missions, and you are wasting your time. You're not making a good enough earning killing those ships. The best you can do is take out the Rattlesnake for a solid 17 to 18 million, and that's just about it. You're making the bounty on the kill. You're gonna earn a couple million off it, and maybe you'll make it up in your total gains. But there's no way that you beat the actual efficiency of that entire mission. me just switch that off and go straight into pickup mode. So yeah, that's the nitty gritty of this entire situation. I hope that you all did enjoy, and I will catch you all in the next one when I really go around with the Nereus, and hopefully that won't take me so long. So see you all then. Have a good day.